Welcome to another episode of 28 Days of Blackness. We have with us today Errol Worrell. Today he'll be talking about Robert Smalls. So we're going to go right into this, Errol. Give us a backstory.
Okay. Robert Smalls was born on April 5th, 1839 in Beaufort, South Carolina to Lydia Polite, an enslaved African woman. His father's, although his identity is largely unknown, is believed to be Henry McKee, who was the son of the plantation owner at the time. When Robert is 12 years old, the McKee family moved to Charleston, where he worked on the Charleston waterfront, working as a deckhand, working his way up to a rigger, and ultimately becoming a sailor.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, for a slave, especially here and not in the Caribbean somewhere, for a slave to actually, work on ships, that's not something that we hear about often, right?
Indeed.
All right, so we know that the story gets good, so he didn't stay a slave, for much longer. Tell us a little bit about that.
Not at all. So at the outbreak of the Civil War in May, Robert and a small crew, a black crew, they were aboard the Planter, which had originally been a cotton steamer ship that was converted into a munitions transport ship that the Confederate Army was using. So one night, him and a crew of 12, they actually hijacked the ship, sailing it through 5 Confederate naval checkpoints before they're confronted by the USS Onward, which was a Union naval ship. Robert, during his time as a sailor working aboard the Planter, he learned the naval signs and the signals they use to get through these checkpoints. So they're able to do that successfully. The ship was almost shot down actually by the USS Onward before Robert was able to put up a white bedsheet, which is the symbol for surrendering. So the Union Navy they climb aboard the ship and Robert gives it over to them. The capturing of that ship was an excellent victory for the Union Army, as it had times, dates, and locations of docking stations, of shipping supplies, and the ship itself was full of firearms. So Robert actually he joins the Union Navy. He earns a celebrity status here in the North.
Wow. So that's amazing, man. We talk about his celebrity status, all of that stuff, from former slave, so wow, man. I mean, what can I say? Give us more, man.
Okay, so Robert Smalls is able to use his celebrity status in the North to go around telling his story, and he builds a significant amount of wealth. He's able to convince many free blacks in the North to actually sign up for the Union Army. He's partly credited with convincing President Lincoln at the time to allow free blacks in the North to fight in the Union Army.
Wow, man. So it's not just becoming, a hero in your own right, but, and just stopping there. What I appreciate more from that story is, he got his freedom. He made it to the North, and he decided to continue to advocate for the freedoms of others.
Indeed, and even more so, he continues to fight in the Union Navy. He's the first African American man to be given the rank of captain in the United States Navy. So he continues to be an advocate and serve in the military. He is offered an opportunity to represent South Carolina in the House of Representatives, which he does in the 5th Congressional District and then ultimately the 7th. So
Wow.
he uses his status to move into political action.
That is awesome, man. And we got all this, and I just want to clarify. This is a former slave.
Former slave.
A former slave, a former enslaved person, as I should say. And wow, and to hear of that kind of an accomplishment is awesome. But hearing that, understanding that someone who came from absolutely nothing, you're talking about the worst of worst situations, right? And to see what he accomplished, that's amazing, man. So how does his story, pretty much motivate you as far as what you do in the community now?
Well, Robert's story is definitely significant to me because Robert takes a situation that was meant to keep him down, that was meant to keep him in bondage, that was meant to oppress him. He learns it. He learns its inner workings. He adapts to it and is eventually able to overcome. We're able to do the same thing. Although we understand that the cards are stacked against us with war on drugs and mass incarceration, we're able to learn, study, unite, and come together to overcome and to build for ourselves.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow, man. That's truly inspiring. But, you know, we got to ask you to leave us with something, man. Leave us with, you know, just a quote, a saying, you know, some kind of positive feedback.
Well, conviction is worthless unless it's converted into conduct. It's not enough for us to just know and to see what's wrong, but we have to be active. We have to learn what we can do to be active against it and ultimately take action for the betterment of our communities.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. How old are you again?
23.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is another episode of 28 Days of Blackness. We will see you during our next episode.